What's up, peeps? Welcome to the new 50 Noob. I am Simple Simon. If you haven't watched this before, it's basically comic book talk from a newbie's perspective. I am the comic book noob. Today we're going to talk about first appearances, because first appearances in comics seem to be a big deal. A lot of collectors and things will go out of the way to get books that have first appearance of key characters or just popular characters. So we're going to have a look at some of the first appearances comic books that I own. Let's do this. Alright, so first few books I'm going to show you are going to be some books that I've probably already shown you in previous videos, but I'm going to get maybe a little bit more in-depth into some of them. First book I'm going to show you, I just like showing off the fact that I've got this, I think, but at the same time, I don't really like handling this book. So the first appearance of the BatPenis, or as I like to call, Bat Dong. So I guess last time I didn't really speak about what happened with this book. So after it went viral and people were just outraged that Batman had his wang out, the book just sold out everywhere, and they were just cutting, like they weren't printing anymore with that version. So you can obviously get comic books digitally these days. Apparently the digital version of this comic was always censored. So even if you got it the day of release, the digital version was always censored, which once again pays to buy the old stuff. I mean, you know, the old school way. What happened is, so ongoing prints of this book, they decided they're just going to censor all the ongoing prints of this book. So only people who basically got that first run got some of that BatPenis action. Moving forward, DC decided that they were going to, I think, change the way Black Label was run, which is kind of silly. The whole reason I was so excited about DC Black Label, because it was designed to be like, you know, like books for like an adult. It was like an adult line of books, which to me, I was like, well, I'm an adult, it will appeal to me. And you know, I mean, BatPenis, I mean, I'm not like dying to see penises, but you know what I mean? When I saw it for the first time, I was like, whoa, they're trying to make a statement with this. It's like, they ain't fucking around with this Black Label stuff. So the thing that pisses me off the most is that everyone went and bought this because it went viral, because they had the BatPenis, there was value to it, so people like rushed out to buy it just so they can flip it online, which pisses me off because I would never do something like that. And issue 2 has been out for months now, well maybe not months, but issue 2 has been out for a while now, and there is still plenty of copies on the shelf. I also have both versions of issue 2 because I truly love this book. And that pisses me off again is there is a rumor going around that issue 2 was supposed to have a shower scene with Harley Quinn, and there's no shower scene with Harley Quinn. So it's a little bit shitty. Obviously DC Black Label was intended for a certain purpose, and because people can't handle the fact that there was a penis in a comic, it's basically ruined the entire label. So I think moving forward, I mean, I don't even know if they're going to keep bringing out the books like they say, but it's really a letdown and disappointing where the direction of DC Black Label has gone. They've started just putting Black Label on old titles, like reissuing old stories like White Knight, and even I think The Killing Joke has now been labeled as a Black Label sort of thing. And to be honest, man, I just want to see boobs and dicks. So no, so that kind of really sucks. Okay, so unfortunately, most of the world are never going to see the BatPenis, but thanks to a new video editing skill I've learned, here's some Bat Dong coming up for you, right? Boom, there. That worked, right? BatPenis in all of its glory. Anyway, next book. So I spoke about this in my Most Valuable Comics. This is the first appearance of Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg. Obviously, big part of the Teen Titans. Cyborg obviously went on to be in the Justice League movie. Raven and Starfire are in the current Titans run. So I'm a big Raven fan, which is the reason I really wanted this. I wasn't really so fussed about the Starfire and Cyborg thing, but the fact that it's 3 first appearances, I mean, that's not a bad little score, and I didn't get it for too bad a price. So first appearance, which is DC Comics Presents, number 26, but I've already spoken about this book, so next. Okay, Sandman number 8 was the first appearance of Death, who ended up being the champion of my top 5 female characters. Yeah, so I ended up getting this just because once I fell in love with Death, I was like, I need to have her first appearance, right? And really this didn't cost too much either. I might have paid $50 for it maybe, which, look, it's a lot for a comic book, but hey, there's some ridiculous pricing out there sometimes when you look for this stuff. Just quickly, I did mention also in my last comic book video that I did buy like a new miniseries of hers, not a new one, but it's quite old, which is another 3-parter. I forgot what it was called, but it's called The Time of Your Life. So I ended up picking these up for literally next to nothing. These really, people don't seem to care about them, but I really want to read more death stories without having to get too involved in the Sandman universe. I may read Sandman one day, but for now, I'm happy just reading death stories. Okay, so the next first appearance I got is one of the Robins, Tim Drake. I really don't know a lot about Tim Drake, to be honest. I've never actually read anything much with him. Apparently, I don't know, every time I read Teen Titans stuff, it's like, I can't believe Tim Drake died. I'm like, no, I didn't even get to find out about him. Now, one thing I said to myself, like I said, I did have comic books from when I was a kid, was that I didn't want to go out and start buying stuff that I used to own as a kid. Yeah, I'm not going to rebuy all this stuff that, that I used to have. Now, when I went to search for the first appearance of Tim Drake, it turns out it was a comic that I definitely had as a kid. As soon as I saw the cover, I was like, damn, I had that. So this is one of the few comics I did rebuy, just for the fact that when my friend told me the story of Tim Drake, it sounds like a really interesting story to me. How he discovered who Batman and Robin were, so he's like a greater detective than Batman. So this is the first appearance of Tim Drake, I believe, as a character. Now, if you look up Tim Drake's first appearance, he's got like a few. So this is his first appearance, and then you got his first appearance as Robin, and then I believe there's also a first appearance in the actual story as Robin, which I don't have, which is the one where he's in the windowsill, like something. Maybe I'll have an image, hopefully. But yeah, so first appearance of Tim Drake. I really want to end up reading some stuff. I think I would like to read the original stories. One thing I remember from these comics, because I always remembered Nightwing, like reading about Nightwing as a kid. Now, as a kid, I was always like, why is Dick Grayson Nightwing? And like, why was Jason Todd Robin? Because again, like, I didn't grow up on Batman as comics. I grew up with Adam West and Michael Keaton as Batman, you know what I mean? So for me, it was always like, I didn't know what was going on when I was reading these comics. And I always wondered, what were those comics I had that had Nightwing in it? And it was this. I had a few issues of this story run. I didn't have this, but I remember I had a few issues in a row of this. And yeah, to me, I was always like so weirded out by that. I was like, I didn't quite get it as a kid, but now it all comes full circle. So yeah, as a newbie, it's really, there's a lot to take in, especially when you've missed like 20 years of bloody information. So yeah, first appearance of Tim Drake, good stuff. Okay, next one. We've got my gal, Gwenpool. As I said in my previous video, I'm a big fan of Gwenpool. She's kind of got two first appearances as well. So this here, Gwenpool's, well, I think it's actually Deadpool's Secret Wars, but it says Gwenpool's on it. This was her first appearance, but it really was just on the cover. This was actually her first appearance in a story, I believe, which is Howard the Duck Series 1. I haven't actually opened this because all the stories from this were in Gwenpool issue 0, which I do have, so I just read that. But this was literally, I paid nothing for this. This was a sit in the back issues at a Comics R Us for like $8. So I was like, yep, grabbing that. This I had to pay a little bit more for. I think I ended up getting this for about 40, 50 maybe. But yeah, I'm very glad I've got the first appearances of Gwenpool because I am big Gwenpool fan. Alright, I feel like I'm smashing through this real quick, but no one wants to hear me talk too long anyway. So this next one's a bit of a weird one. It's not that important to me. It was just something that was a bit of a hot tip from my mate Stu, who said just before recently Marvel had the Edge of Spider-Geddon series, which, look, I've read half of it and I will probably one day finish it, but my god, this Spider-Verse stuff is just confusing, man. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? There's just too much to keep up with, and it's really confusing for someone like me who's just trying to understand it all, trying to piece it all together. There's just too much spider action going on. But during the whole Edge of Spider-Geddon sort of thing, they had this come out, the Superior Octopus. Now, a friend gave me a hot tip and said, you need to get this other book, which was the first appearance of this dude, which was The Amazing Spider-Man 25. I don't know what year, there's so many Spider-Man, but this is the cover. I found this in the back issue section. It was about $18, so it was a little bit more than everything else. First appearance of Superior Octopus, so I ended up buying it. I'm never probably going to read this. This is one of those books I actually did buy just for the fuck of it, because my friend was like, you should get that, it might be worth something one day. Okay, this next character is a character that I actually do really like, and I really want to go out of my way to get this. I only got this recently. My friend gave me a hot tip and got me a sweet price on it. But that's Spider-Punk, Hobie Brown. Obviously, punk rock Spider-Man. I mean, it's pretty damn appealing to someone like me. So his first appearance was The Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Believe this was 2015, which is part of the whole Spider-Verse thing. I haven't read any of that. I just really wanted this because I'm a big fan of Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk, you cannot go wrong. I think he is going to do big things in the future of the Spider-Verse. I wouldn't be surprised if they make another Spider-Verse movie, which was fantastic, by the way. I wouldn't be surprised if Hobie Brown makes an appearance of that. He is a very cool character, and he's also very cool in the video game. I am nearly done. Seriously, I feel like I'm rushing through this. Do I speak really fast? I feel like I speak really fast. I also realize I say a lot in these videos. If you want to get drunk really quickly, you should play a drinking game where you have a drink every time I say you'll be wrecked in no time. So my next first appearances, well, the rest of my first appearances are all very new characters, which really may or may not hold much significance in the whole grand scheme of things when it comes to important and popular characters, but these are just some characters that I quite like. Lobo's daughter, Crush. Boom. Now, Lobo's daughter, for a guy like me, just has a very, that's the look that's going to draw someone like me. So looks like a very punk rock kind of when I first saw Lobo's daughter, I was like, she looks like a cool character. So I ended up picking this up. I was collecting Teen Titans because obviously Raven is in the Teen Titans. But then what I noticed was I've read first few issues, but I realized that it was like Raven, like the team changed around when it reached sort of this part of the series, and Raven seemed to go over to just the regular Titans, not the Teen Titans. It's like she graduated to the full Titans. So I picked this up. I wasn't going to actually continue to collect this. I just literally got it because, I don't know, it was like first appearance of Crush maybe. But because I'm kind of fascinated by Crush now, I probably will continue to collect this series. I haven't read this far yet. I think I've read maybe the first 6 issues of Rebirth. But something to maybe just consider. Crush, I think, may be a bigger character as time goes on, just because she's got that look. I think that's appealing to a lot of people. So first appearance of Crush, Teen Titans 20. This next character is a character, this is like my character. So after I read the whole Dark Knight's Metal series, which one word for me was confusing. I was reading that shit like, what the fuck is going on in this story? But anyway, so what happened in Dark Knight's Metal is it spawned a whole new age of heroes. Off the top of my head, you got people like Silencer, Damage. That's all I can think of right now. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm like a new age of reader, so I should pick one of these guys. I should pick one of these new age heroes and start following them. So I decided to choose Sideways. I don't know why. Maybe because he looks a little bit more like Spider-Man, which I actually thought was kind of ridiculous in the first place, but I figured I would just try this guy out. And to be honest, I fell in love with the story. I actually really enjoy Sideways. I love his, I can't remember her name anymore, but I love his little friend, sidekick, who sort of helps him with everything. Really cool. I've read the first 6 issues. And yeah, I really think Sideways is super cool. I do recommend it. However, I seem to be the only one. The people have spoken, and the next issue of Sideways, which is coming out, which is issue 13, will be its last. DC have decided to can it because obviously no one's buying it. Even Mark at Big City Comics stopped getting it, but he just orders 1 issue for me basically because I'm the only one who reads it. But I really enjoy Sideways. I probably will eventually, reflection. I probably will eventually, I'll probably finish reading the series and I'll probably do a review on the whole 13 issues just because I really dig Sideways. Sideways issue 1. Alright, this next one is a villain. Again, a new villain. May not make any noise in the whole grand scheme of the DC universe, but I thought it was worth a mention, which is Upside Down Man. Pretty terrifying looking character. Weird thing is he's always upside down, so sometimes it's like, what's he what's he standing on? But issue 3, look, I read somewhere that issue 3 is his first appearance, where really he shows up in the final panel of issue 2. So pretty sure that's his first appearance. Justice League Dark issue 2. This is the current Justice League Dark run. I bought this book thinking that I'd just try it out. I didn't really think I was going to enjoy it because, to be honest, I don't know, I'm not that huge in the whole magic sort of thing. I read Justice League Dark and I'm like, wow, I actually am really enjoying this. So I actually still read Justice League Dark. I'm a big fan, even though I didn't think I would be, just because some of the characters like Swamp Thing, Man Bat and things like that. I was like, really? But I really enjoy reading it. Detective Chimp is actually really cool. Again, another character which I look at and I'm like, I have no interest in that character, but I actually really enjoy him. Justice League Dark, I recommend it for everyone if you don't already read it. Upside Down Man, we'll see where he goes. Okay, this last character is another new villain, but this one is definitely making noise in the DC universe. I wasn't really going out of my way for first appearances. My friend Stu's like, you need this one. The only reason I got this was because I do, like I said before, I do collect Teen Titans. So I was planning on collecting the first 20 issues of Teen Titans Rebirth. Yeah, so I realized there was one key issue in Teen Titans which was going to be hard to get, and that was going to literally just give me problems on trying to collect the series. So I was like, I guess I'll try to get this book. So the character I'm talking about is the Batman Who Laughs, who was created by Scott Snyder for the Dark Knight's Metal series. His first appearance was was Teen Titans issue 12. I bought the foil edition. I was really trying to get the regular one, but I couldn't, and then I actually ended up getting quite a good price on this. This is the I think it's like the San Diego Comic Con exclusive or something. It's got the foil cover, limited to 3,000. And sorry, this fucking light reflection. But this book, I think one day will be worth quite a lot because the Batman Who Laughs just got his new own miniseries, which has just started. They've released 2 issues of that, and I think he's going to be making some big noise with DC in the future. Alright, so that's the end of my first appearance books. I feel like I had more, but I think that was it. Look, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments of maybe some first appearance comics that you guys have, or if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, maybe leave a comment. There's going to be a lot of shit that I can't talk about because, like I said, I can't hold up a conversation with a comic book guy who's just like, you know when this happened, and you know when this event happened, you know when this event happened. I'll be like, no. It's as simple as that. I just have not been reading for long enough. But if there's anything you want me to do, please leave a comment, give us a like, give us a sub, and yeah, hopefully I'm going to take a week off because seriously all I've been thinking about is making these videos. I literally have not been reading enough, so I think I really want to spend a week off from doing this and literally catch up on some reading and maybe come back with some comic book reviews and things like that. Hopefully moving forward, I've got a few other things planned too, so keep watching and stay simple.